Nigerians in the diaspora will very soon be legally empowered to cast their votes for their preferred candidates in Nigeria, courtesy of a potential Diaspora Voting Act. The bill towards that crucial piece of legislation recently passed second reading at the House of Representatives. Joining us now from London, United Kingdom, to look at the inherent benefits of that bill is Ade Omole, Chairman, Nigeria Diaspora Voting Council. Ade Omole, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks a lot.
Yes, good morning. Well, very important topic.
Morning, sir.
Diaspora Voting Act. How significant is this? We've been on this matter for a long time. We had persons in diaspora pushing for it. That led to the establishment of the Diaspora Commission, led by Honorable Abike Dabiri. And now we have the House of Representatives saying that, look, Nigerians in diaspora should not just be about remittances that they send home. They should also have a significant say in how Nigeria progresses. What is your take? Is this a welcome development? And what else do you think should be done?
It is a welcome development. It's been a long journey. We've been on this for a very long time. And what we've been able to do within the Nigeria Diaspora Voting Council is we've been able to take this as a project. And if you see what's happened in the last couple of, within 1 year, we've been able to take this to the second reading, which that was what you've just gone through. Again, it's a major deal. We believe that Nigerians in the diaspora should be able to vote in Nigeria during elections because at the end of the day, these are also a group of Nigerians that are adding value to the country. And at the end of the day, they're also Nigerians. So it's a big deal. It's good. It's a step in the right direction. And also, if you look at the number of countries actually that has the number of countries that have diaspora voting in place already, we've got close to about 200 countries around the world that's got diaspora voting in place. And even in Africa, and we call ourselves the giant of Africa, we have about 28 countries or more that have diaspora voting within Africa. Countries like Chad, Guinea, and some other countries even within the Western African sub-region. So it is a step in the right direction. I think we're doing the right thing. Again, it's not a tea party taking that bill through the National Assembly, but we're quite happy. We're quite glad at what's happened to date. The second reading, like you did say, that passed a few days ago. It was on the 15th of December. That went through second reading, and that was passed. And we're working with all the stakeholders. We're working with INEC. We're working with Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. We're working with the presidency. And we're also working with other diaspora agencies within and outside Nigeria, just to ensure that we get this done and we get this ready. Hopefully, come 2023, we should have diaspora voting in place. And talking about INEC, I probably want to especially commend the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission under the leadership of Honorable Abike Dabiri. She's been wonderful. They've actually assisted in this project. And also INEC, they've also helped to a large extent. And that will also go to, a special thanks will also go to the sponsor of the bill within the House, Honorable Tolulope Akande-Shadipe. She's been quite helpful. She's been working 24/7 around the clock to ensure that we actually get this bill passed. So that because the president, I've met the president myself a few times, and he's assured us as soon as that bill is passed, he's ready, he will sign it, and we will have diaspora voting. Now, you did mention the advantages of actually having, why do we need diaspora voting? Obviously, it's the global trend. We know that it's a global trend at this present time. Like I said, close to 200 countries are actually doing it at this time. And in addition to the remittances, yes, we've got lots of humongous remittances actually coming into the country. In 2017, it was about 22 billion. In 2018, it was about 25 billion. In 2019, 29 billion. And the figures for 2020 is not yet out. But again, we're looking at close to about $30 billion. So you have a country, you have a group of people, Nigerians in the diaspora, that's actually sending in this humongous amount of money, and they're not allowed to vote. I think it's the right thing to do. And we should look towards not just voting, but voting is one of them. We also need to look towards Nigerians in the diaspora to also help with governance in party level, the what level, and also doing other things. Because Nigerians outside Nigerians are doing well, just like Nigerians within, that are actually living within Nigeria. And we believe that we can also add value, not just to the electoral system, but also to governance, governance overall. And let me put this in perspective. Now, the entire Nigeria stock market in Nigeria is about $20 billion. The budget for Nigeria probably ranges between 30 to 32 billion US dollars. And you have a group of people that year in, year out, they actually remit close to that amount to the country. So we are quite important to the country. We add value to the country. We're part of a social. We're actually part of that social development, political development of the country, and we believe that we should have that right to vote. It's actually going through the House. It will. We are quite hopeful that it will pass, and the president will sign it, and we will be part of the electoral process in Nigeria. Thank you.
You're quite optimistic, and you made a lot of sense. I mean, it is morally, legally justifiable that if you do contribute to the economic growth of the country, you should also have a say in who governs, and, carries out those economic policies. But there are lingering questions, such as, can Nigeria afford, the additional financial and material cost of diaspora voting? Because that would include, expansion of workforce, expansion of logistics. Can we afford that? Also, the question of jurisdiction. So, who constitutes a Nigerian in diaspora? Are we talking about Nigerians in the West, or with Nigerians in Africa? Neighboring countries will also participate there. What method of voting would be adopted? And what elections would they be participating in? Because different countries around the world have different methods and different elections they're allowed to participate in. Are they going to be participating in general elections such as presidential election or local government elections? And how do we know which local government they are voting for? So these are many lingering questions as to how this electoral amendment will work.
Those questions and those challenges have actually been looked at length. I'll start with who is a Nigerian in the diaspora. Now, the bill itself, I'm not sure whether you've seen a copy of that bill. The bill itself actually takes care of that. And who is a Nigerian in the diaspora? What we did was actually look into the act that actually set up the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. Nigerian in the diaspora is actually defined in that act, and we've just looked into that and actually put that into that same bill. And it actually defines who is a Nigerian in the diaspora. Obviously, you have to be, in Nigerian who is a diaspora that is eligible to vote. First, you have to be 18. You need to have your Nigerian passport. You need to be legally actually registered in that particular country. And also, you have to be in that country for at least a minimum of 1 year. So those are the things that we put into that bill to actually resolve those issues. Now, when you talk about the models that we will adopt during diaspora voting, INEC has actually put forward 5 different models. They've not actually decided on the one to go for. That's been looked at this present time, and that's why we're working hand in glove with them to ensure that we put out the best model that we can, first that is actually affordable and is also fit for purpose. Those are things that are being looked at as we speak, and I can actually confirm that INEC is done so well. They've done lots of research on this. We held a workshop in February 2020. That was attended by INEC, the presidency, the Senate, members of the House of Rep, NIDCOM, and a few diaspora groups. And these were the things that we actually went through, answered with all the presentations given on that day as to what model, the best model that we will be using for diaspora voting for Nigerians. And to answer your question about whether it's just those in the West, no. As long as you're a Nigerian, whether you're in Chad or whether you're in Ghana or whether you're in the UK or you reside in the United States, as long as you're a Nigerian in the diaspora, you will be entitled, you will be eligible to vote in elections in Nigeria.
All right. In fact, I'm so happy I just raised those concerns because I want to explore those concerns even more. Concerns like logistics. Take, for instance, Nigeria doesn't have a consulate in some parts now. The consulate is functioning almost below capacity. Even the London you are, I see the nightmare that goes on at the Nigerian embassy close to Trafalgar Square just to be able to get your passport. The logistics behind that is nightmarish. How are we going to pull through that? And I want to know the inputs, because I know most political parties in Nigeria, the APC and the PDP, they've got branches or chapters in London, in the UK. Correct. What was their inputs on this? And what's also, just hang on a minute, and what's the input of the Diaspora Commission on this?
The Diaspora Commission is actually one of the major stakeholders actually looking into this, working with other major stakeholders, INEC being one of them. You just mentioned the logistics part of it, that how INEC will actually implement that particular law when it's actually passed and signed by the president. I strongly believe, and from what we've heard and seen, and from the presentations and discussions and meetings with INEC, I believe that INEC has the capacity to actually conduct these elections outside Nigeria. And remember, as we speak, there's what's called out-of-country voting. Out-of-country voting. That's actually taking place at this present time. It's called out-of-country voting for Nigerians out in missions, out on assignment during elections. They actually vote in elections in Nigeria. So it's not something totally new to INEC. And our take is this. If smaller countries are doing it, for instance, Chad and others are doing it, we believe that Nigeria, with that capacity, we should be able to do it. We are going to do it. Even though there are challenges, obviously, we will surmount those challenges, resolve them, and actually move forward. We know it's going to be challenging, but we believe we have the capacity to actually resolve those challenges and actually move forward with it.
Well, Adeomolu, you are absolutely right. It's been done in other places, and we can also do it in Nigeria.